What's up, everybody? Welcome back to SoxStop. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who tuned in to my first video and listened to me talk Sox. Also, anybody who shared my video, who reached out to me. I got a lot of people that sent me messages telling me that they loved it, and they said I was doing a great job, and I really appreciate that. The positive feedback that I got, and mixed with the amount of people that were sharing it on their social media or texting me with positive feedback, it made me feel great, and it motivated me to keep doing this. So thank you to everybody who tuned into my first video. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and everybody who subscribed, awesome. Thank you so much. Liked the video, commented on the video. It was just great to see. So as we know from the last video, the Red Sox started the season 1-5. They lost 5 games in a row, and it was time for them to come back to Fenway. Opening day at Fenway was Friday, April 3rd, and it was a blast. Opening day is always, it's like a holiday in Boston. I think people they flood the bars, they flood Fenway, and it's just awesome. You know, the ceremony, they brought out the 1986 Red Sox team who made it to the World Series. We all know how that ended, but it's okay. It was cool to see them come back out on the field and get a huge round of applause from the fans at Fenway. So opening day was a big one. You know, they had just come off a pretty sizable losing streak on the road. Terrible start to the season, and they needed a win so bad. They needed that home crowd. They needed the energy. They needed to win that game. Sonny Gray needed to bounce back. I touched on it briefly in my first video about Sonny Gray's performance against Cincinnati. It was not good. It was pretty bad. So he really needed a good start here, and he got one. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, only 4 hits. Got a lot of ground balls, which is what we need from Sonny Gray. I think eventually we'll see the strikeout numbers go up for Sonny Gray because he does have some pretty nasty stuff. But the fact that he was able to get a lot of ground balls, get a lot of outs, and for the most part, the defense made the plays behind him. And the Red Sox had the bats going. 3rd inning was a great one. One guy I want to shout out, Marcelo Meyer. The guy, he's been so good so far this season, and comes up in the 3rd inning, first at bat, smacks a double off the green monster. The fact that Marcelo is able to take a pitch the other way and use that monster is huge. It's huge. That's what you need lefties to do, and that's something Marcelo himself needs to do to stay valuable in this lineup. And so far, he's been great. Rips a double off the monster. And Cedar Rafaela, this guy, I feel like he's been pretty under the radar this season so far. I mean, we all know Cedar is a great defender, but this guy's been pretty clutch. He's had a couple of big hits, big RBIs. He drives Marcelo in with a nice base hit. Sox are up 1-0. That's what we like to see. In the very next inning, Jarren Duran smacks a double down the line. I would love to see more of Jarren Duran. It's kind of weird because he hasn't played a ton this season so far. I mean, he's used to being an everyday starter. He's a guy that wants to play all 162 games. But so far, they got a weird situation with the outfield going on, and a lot of guys to move around, a lot of pieces to fill in here or there. But Jarren Duran making use of his playing time in that at bat, it was huge, ripping it down the line. And the biggest story here, at least for the first few innings, Caleb Durbin. I mean, the guy came up to bat for the first time, mixtures of boos and cheers, which I didn't really like. The guy's played 6 games for you. Everybody here and there has a slow start. It's going to happen. Caleb Durbin comes up, pressure's on. What does he do? Drives in his first run of the season, gets his first hit of the season. It's a big RBI, puts you up 2-0. That was huge for him. Huge. The lead didn't last very long, which I'm going to touch on later because that's been a huge problem so far. It's little mistakes. Cedar, the guy's a Gold Glover, should have won the Platinum Glove last year. We're used to him being an absolute vacuum. Loses a ball in the sun. It drops in, the guy gets a triple. I know it's hard, you can blame the sun, this, that. It's hard to see a ball when it's directly in the sun. He had his glove up to block it, but that's got to be caught, especially if you're a guy everybody's arguing you should have won the Platinum Glove last year. You got to make the play. And it leads to 2 runs in the inning, and they tie the game up just like that. I'm not going to get on him too much because luckily this game ended up in our favor. But that's a play that has to be made if you want to win games. Plain and simple. But Wilson Contreras, man, I said it in the last video, this guy is going to have fun with the green monster. He's going to put balls over that monster. And what does he do? He just hits an absolute tank over the Green Monster. Putting the Red Sox up 3-2. We needed that so bad. You put the guy in a right-handed hitter's ballpark, he's going to have success, and he just hit an absolute bomb, and it was huge. The crowd was going bananas after that. Later on in the inning, Marcelo Meyer with a huge home run. They took the pitcher out, and they said, we're going to throw the lefty in to face Marcelo. We're going to give you a fresh lefty. This guy, the whole thing about Marcelo Meyer, all the talk has been, oh, he can't hit lefties. He's a platoon bat. He should only be in the lineup against righties, blah, blah, blah. What does he do on the first pitch? Smacks one into the bullpen. Basically putting the nail in the coffin right there. That's what you need from this guy, and you need from all these guys, because there's a lot of unknown stuff about a lot of guys on this team. They're a very young team, right? Marcelo Meyer, he needs to hit lefties. He's proving to you that he can. The bullpen came in, shut him down. Shout out to the bullpen, man. We needed that so bad. We really did. Great win for the Sox on opening day. The vibes were up. We were like, oh, we're back. We're feeling like we're back. Let's go. I posted on my Instagram story, we're back. And, so we thought. Saturday's game was tough. 2-1 most of the game. The Padres were up, and it was a lot of zeros for the Red Sox. I think Connolly Early did okay in this game. I mean, so far he's been limiting the runs, which is great, but he's kind of had a walk problem. 4 walks, not ideal. He only got through 4 innings, got the pitch count up quite a bit. Only gave up 3 hits, struck out 4, only gave up 2 earned runs, but you got to limit the walks, man. Kind of uneventful for the most part until around, I want to say, the bottom of the 8th inning when Andrew Monasterio came in, pinch hitting for Jarren Duran, which I thought that was bizarre. You're pinch hitting for Jarren Duran? I don't know. Like I said, I want to see more out of Jarren Duran. It makes you question sometimes, like, what's going on with Duran? Why are they pinch hitting for him? Why is he barely playing? I'm not on the fire Alex Cora train. At least not yet. He makes some interesting decisions. Like, this was a really interesting decision to me. I don't really understand it. First of all, huge hit by Roman, getting Rafaela over to third base, making it first and third with 1 out. And Monasterio, I mean, I guess he did a job, man. At that point, you just want to put the ball in play. Hits a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Easy double play. Dropped. Monasterio beats out the throw to first. Tie ball game. Hell yeah, dude. We're back. We're not going away that easy. We're not going to roll over and die. No way. And here comes the big fella, 44, back in the game. Immediately gives up the lead. Chapman was so good last year. You give him the benefit of the doubt. Every now and then they're going to get to you. You wait all game for that tying run. You finally get it in the 8th, and then boom. Just like that, it's gone. Tough loss. Move on to the next one. Let's just go out there and win the series on Sunday. Talk about just an absolute explosion of offense. It was huge, getting 4 runs in the 3rd inning. And you're like, all right, we got this, man. Now you can just cakewalk. Everybody cakewalk through the rest of the game, man. Let's just go enjoy our Easter. Let's go eat dinner. Nope. This was, honest to God, I know the Astros kicked our ass, right? But this was the worst loss of the season so far. This was a terrible loss. Ranger Suarez was cooking through 3 innings. He was doing just fine. And then he goes and gives up 3 runs right away in the top of the 4th. I mean, we didn't even have time to do an egg hunt before this game was tied. And once again, here comes Greg. Big Weissert. I don't know what it is with this guy. Every time I see him come out of the bullpen, I just say, oh no, here we go. Just like that, good old Manny Machado, who every time he comes to Fenway, he just gets rained on with boos. Boo, boo, boo. We all remember what Manny Machado did to Dustin Pedroia. We kind of blame him for ending Dustin Pedroia's career with that, spike to the leg. You boo a guy enough times, he's going to get fired up and he's going to make you pay. I don't even understand how he hit I mean, at some point, you can't really blame Weissert for this. This was just one of the most outrageous pieces of hitting I've ever seen. He takes a ball that is way inside, borderline going to hit him, and he turns on it and hits an absolute fucking shot. And as soon as that ball left his bat, Easter was ruined. You kind of knew as soon as it left the bat, like, oh, shit. We're done. We're cooked. It was just a gut punch, really. The Red Sox didn't lay down and die. Again, they come back in the 7th, and they put up 2 runs. They tie the game. Masataka Yoshida with a huge hit to drive in the tying run. That's another guy that I'd love to see more of, is Masataka Yoshida. I mean, he's been getting on base. This guy's walked a bunch. Comes in this game, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Huge game for Masa. But of course, this game's tied. We're all fired up again. We're like, oh, Easter's saved. We're going to win this game. And then gone. Just like that, you give up another run in the 8th, another run in the 9th. Can't hold the lead for shit. You blow a 4-0 lead. You finally tie it up. You lose again. You lose the series. Now it's time to have a difficult conversation because you're like, all right, we're 2-7. We're trending in the wrong direction, and we have a very, very good Milwaukee team coming in. You better buckle up. You got Brian Bale on the mound looking to bounce back from that terrible start he had against Houston. He was doing all right, man. I mean, a lot of traffic for sure. A lot of traffic on the base pass, but he was getting out of it. You know, the first 3 innings he had 2 guys on every single inning, but he was managing to get out of it, pulling the Houdini act. Bottom of the first, Trevor Story knocks in a run with a little bloop to right field. Huge for Trevor Story. He had a great series. And then in the 3rd inning, good Lord, I thought Wilson Contreras was going to kill somebody. If you don't know, Wilson Contreras, he played for the Cubs, played for the Cardinals, both NL Central teams, along with the Brewers. The Brewers are an NL Central team, so they face each other a lot. Contreras has played for a long time, and throughout the course of his career, Milwaukee has hit him with a pitch over 20 times. 20. 2-0. And Brandon Woodruff, who just happened to be on the mound for Milwaukee on Monday, he has hit Wilson 5 times. 5 times alone. Just him. There's going to be some bad blood between the two of them. I don't think Wilson likes being hit with 90-plus miles an hour multiple times by the same guy. You're like, all right, 5 times, maybe some of them are on purpose, but not all of them, right? You can't make this up. The guy drills him again, which the ball barely hit him, I'll be fair, but it hit him on the hand. It's up high. Wilson was pissed. I mean, look at this. I thought he was going to murder somebody. Thankfully, it got worked out. He got to first base. We all calmed down. Obviously, I don't think it was on purpose. There's 2 men on. There's nobody out. You're not going to load the bases on purpose just because you want to drill the guy. You got bases loaded, nobody out. Let's go score some runs. Let's take advantage of this. Use that energy. Maybe that pumped up the boys a little bit. Good old Willie Abreu, the hottest hitter on the planet. My MVP right now. Got another run on the board. It's 2-0. And then, of course, Trevor Story drives in another run. Sac fly to center field. Masa Yoshida with the perfect running form to home plate. 3-0 Sox. This game is completely in our control. Once again, that did not last very goddamn long. The Brewers come up in the 4th inning, and they score 4 runs. Just like that. Another lead. Poof. Disappeared. Too many walks. Again, 4 walks. He didn't even make it through the 4th inning. He was electric last year. He had an ERA under 3 last year. Number 2 on our staff. And now the guy can't throw strikes. I don't know what happened. Not a great pitching line for Bayo. He sucked again. This is not what you want your identity to be. You blew a 4-0 lead yesterday. You blow a 3-0 lead today. That's 2 games in a row. I think for me, Sunday was the worst loss of the season. This game was the first game where I was actually genuinely about to throw something through my television. I could not get over the fact that they blew another lead. Just like that, too. It doesn't take any time at all. They score 3. They give up 4 the following inning. Just like that. I mean, this cannot be your identity. You need to be the team that goes up by 3 or 4 runs, and that's it. Game's over. You're going to coast for the rest of the game. So far, not great. But this lineup's got a little bit of resilience in them. Caleb Durbin, who's been getting booed since he came home for the first time, smacks a double off the monster. Hits him with a... Stop booing this guy, all right? He's going to be fine. He's going to figure it out. And, of course, who drives him in? Cedon. He's up there with Willier right now for the top guys that I want up in a scenario like that. And the big man, Wilson Contreras. The guy's fired up. I mean, he was ready to murder somebody in the 3rd inning, right? So you knew he was going to come up in the 4th and drive a run in. You can't be comfortable with this team. You can't, ever. You take the lead back, and you just know that that's not going to stick. It's just terrible watching them not being able to hold on to leads. It's really bad, and you just need to be better. Brewers end up scoring 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. Wilson Contreras comes in, hits another bomb over the monster. It's too little too late. Again, just like the Roman home run in Houston, it's too little too late. They pull out the Wally head. It was pretty sad, honestly. I don't know. Now you're like, all right, this is bad. 2 and 8. It's frustrating. You need to go out and win tomorrow with Crochet on the mound. This was one of the best pitchers duels that I've seen. It's Garrett Crochet, the Red Sox ace, versus Jacob Mizorowski, who throws absolute heat. Both guys were solid through 5 innings. Garrett Crochet was just absolutely nasty. 7 strikeouts. The guy was on fire, striking guys out left and right. It was a great game for Crochet. The Red Sox came up in the 6th, put up 3 runs. We're all fired up, but it's like, you can't be comfortable. You watch the last 2 games, you cannot be comfortable with that lead. And that's never where you want your head to be at. But the big story here, other than Crochet, the bullpen held it down. I'm not going to lie to you, Zach Kelly's never really been one of my favorites, especially in tough situations. But he got out of the inning. Crochet was fired up. And now you got Whitlock in the 8th, nasty. And Chapman comes in, shuts it down, gets a save. Huge win for the Sox. And what a game it was on Wednesday. Sonny Gray, again, was phenomenal. I kind of felt bad because I was talking so much smack about Sonny Gray. The guy was just unstoppable. Right? He was getting so many ground balls. The guys were making plays behind him. Finally, a solid game with no errors for the Red Sox. They had the bats going. Andrew Monasterio, 3 walks. Trevor Story, again, 2 RBIs. Through all the talk about Trevor Story and last year in April, May, he was pretty bad, and he turned it on, became the best player on the team almost offensively. He's had his struggles early on, but in the big spots, he has come through time and time again. 6 RBIs in this series for Trevor Story. Unsung hero of the series for sure. Trevor Story is my MVP for this series, and it's great to get a series win. The Red Sox pulled it out. Series win against the Milwaukee Brewers, who had the best record in the majors last year. Had the best record in the majors coming into this series, and you take 2 out of 3 from them. This gives you so much momentum going forward because now you have momentum. You've won back-to-back games going into St. Louis, not a great Cardinals team, winnable series. Then you get to go to Minnesota, who traded everybody last year. Things are looking up. There's a great chance that after this road trip, they come back home with a winning record, maybe 500. I mean, you take 5 out of 6 on the road, you're at 500. Things are looking up, and it's going to be okay. Like I said last week, it was a very tough start to the season, and the way that the series with the Padres went in the first game against the Brewers, we were all kind of in panic mode. Even myself a little bit. I was thinking to myself after that Padres series, and then after we blew another lead against Milwaukee, how am I going to make a video this week? And did I pick the worst season ever to start a YouTube channel? I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of things going through my head, like this is going to be really hard to put a positive spin on. Like I said, everything is going to be fine. You saw finally what the Red Sox can do. They can hit, they can pitch, they just need to figure it out, and it seems like they might have started to do that a little bit. I know, like, we're technically in the same spot that we were coming home, 4 games below 500, but you came home, you went 3-3. Baseball is hard. It's tough to get up every day and go play 9 innings. It's really hard, man. The fact that they came home and went 3-3 on their homestand is huge against 2 really good teams. You gotta look at this and be like, okay, we're 4-8, but we got some momentum now. We just beat a really good team 2 out of 3. Now we get to go face a couple of teams that are pretty subpar. It's still so early in the season. There's still 150 games left to play. And they're finally, I think, maybe finding their stride a little bit. It's gonna be fine, guys. It's gonna be fine. Just keep tuning into the games, root for this team, don't boo them. When times get tough, just know that they can pull themselves out of it. We are going to be just fine. That's going to do it for me today. Once again, thank you to everybody who watched my first video. Thank you for everybody who dropped a like, who commented, who shared. I mean, it was amazing to see all the support that I got for this video. I was not expecting that. I'm just a guy who likes baseball, who loves the Red Sox. Thank you again for tuning in. I really look forward to the rest of this season. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit. Hopefully next time I talk to you guys, the Red Sox are on a roll, and maybe they'll be 500, maybe just below, or maybe above. Who knows? See you later. Go Sox.